Okay. I think we are in. Somebody check the stream, please.
I'm on it.
Should be the same. Should be the same thing going on that you see.
You are live.
All right. Before we had to do all that hoo-ha in, Maya is going to be our 3D software, the whole package that we use. All of our modeling that we do, all of our animation work, texturing, all that fun stuff, we're all going to be doing it within Maya, okay? My goal is to spend the next couple of weeks getting you very comfortable creating 3D models, how textures work, how animations work, what a rig is, all the things that make up a rig, and how the things that we make in Maya communicate to things like 3D printing software and video game engines and stuff like that, because there is like different workflows for different things that you do, right? So if I make a model for 3D printing, that's going to be very different than a model that I make for a video game. It's going to be like a night and day difference. It's completely, So, when you open Maya for the first time, when they say welcome to Maya, are you a new user or experienced? For you, just hit new user. I'm going to put experience for mine so I don't have a bunch of pop-ups. And this should be your default that you get. Okay, and if you have any questions, just make sure you raise your hand and I'll stop and cover that. But basically, what?
What do you mean by default?
What do you mean?
Like, no, I mean, what do you mean by this is the default you should get?
This is the default look. Like, your program should look like this. Does it not?
Just hit open new file.
Oh, okay.
File, new scene. Yeah,
Like new or open? Because I got both.
New.
new.
Okay.
New scene. All right. So, we're going to cover sort of the basic layout of this, all right? So, you got this big screen in the middle. This is called your viewport, okay? You got this wonderful cube up here. You can click that, move it around, all that fun stuff. What?
I'm still having problems.
What is your problem?
It says scene not saved.
Just hit don't save.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, there are some hotkeys that we want to remember with this, and I will make sure to have your stuff printed out so you don't have to memorize it as much. But basically, all you want to remember is that if you hold down Control and do left, middle, or right mouse click, that is all of your navigation that you're going to need for this whole program. Okay. What is the issue?
His screen looks different compared to the other default screens when you open a new file. Like the tool settings thing is like wide open and it's not 3D. It just looks like a weird graph. Like the cube isn't anywhere to be seen. There's no poly.
Okay, hold on. So you remember how in Photoshop, whenever you go to Windows, is this your only monitor? Like this one isn't connected? Kid that sits here last year, he's still on my shit list. Well, you got 87 things on Maya open, so that might have something to do with it. Did it take that long every single time you try to open it?
It didn't even do anything, but it just did now.
Okay, that's why. So you just had to plug in that function. All right.
There you go. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Now, just to recap that, big screen in the middle, that's your viewport. This is where all of your models live. This is where everything is. This is your scene, okay? In Maya, you want to kind of get used to referring to the entire 3D world that you're working in as a scene. That's how your program sort of treats the naming hierarchy. So if I hit save scene as, that's the whole thing. Okay, that's everything within this little world that we have. You want to kind of treat it as such. So, when we're talking about navigation within the viewport, and you're going to be doing this a lot, so you're going to learn this, and it's going to be like second nature, or it needs to be like second nature. If you hold down Alt, right, and if you left click, you will orbit around a point, right? And that's a point that you have to define later on, and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, and if you middle mouse click, you can pan, which means move around, right? You want to treat yourself as a camera, right? And that's kind of why we do all those camera move terms, you know, zoom, pan, rotate, all that fun stuff, because we are a camera, right? And then right mouse click, that's zoom in and out. All right, so all right, you can also do, you can rotate with the cube. You can't really zoom and pan with it, though. So, again, Alt, left click is rotate, Alt, middle click is pan, Alt, right click is zoom in and out, right? You're going to do this so much that you'll get it, right? If you spend the first week or two in Maya and you're still really, like, having an issue with that, probably just practice it a little bit. And that's probably going to be one of the first assignments, is that you're going to have to take screenshots within like a cityscape, and you're going to have to navigate with that somehow. So good luck with that. All right, so that's your viewport. That's where everything lives, okay? On your left, you have this thing called the outliner, all right? The outliner is essentially a list of everything you got going on in Maya. Okay, so I've got all these primitive shapes that I just made, and I could do whatever I want to them because I have them highlighted. If I'm like, oh, I have this very specific thing I need, I can click on it and I can find it that way. All right, outliner, very important thing to know where it is at all times, especially if you're doing like a big scene. If you're just modeling like a simple object, you're probably not going to use your outliner too much. But if you're doing like a big animation, it's a big scene, it's got a lot of environment stuff to it, and a lot of lights, and a lot of character stuff, and rigs, and all that, then that's a great way to keep track of everything, is your outliner, okay? On your right side, you've got a couple of different things here, right? So by default, should be the channel box / layer editor. This is for specific things that are within an object, right? So I just spawned this cube in, scaled it up a little bit. Our scale X, Y, and Z, that was affected by that. So it goes from 1 to whatever number I got, 12.738, whatever. And you notice that all three of these numbers are exactly the same because I grabbed them from a central point, and that scaled it all evenly. If I grabbed it from one of these, it would be scaling this way. Bob's your uncle. It all does different stuff, right? You want to be kind of careful with that. Because if you're just doing a general scale up, you want to grab from the center. All right. Same with rotate, XYZ, translate, XYZ. All right. Translate means move, rotate is self-explanatory, self-explanatory. All right. Scale. So translate, rotate, scale. And the hotkeys for that are W for translate, E for rotate, and R for scale. Don't yell at me for rotate not being R. I get it. It's very frustrating. But if you've got like the default gamer keyboard pose where your middle finger is on W and your ring finger is on A and your pointer finger is on D, like it kind of makes sense. So like W translate, E rotate, R for scale. And you'll be doing that a lot. Like, you'll be doing that, like, literally a ton. Especially if you're doing any kind of environmental artwork. You'll be, like, placing assets that you make in a scene, and you're just going to be going crazy with it. Now, the fun thing about that is when it comes to Maya, most of the stuff that's in Maya is pretty standard across all other 3D packages. So kind of the reason why I choose Maya to learn and to teach you guys is because once you learn Maya and you know how to use Maya like competently, you're going to know how to use everything else. All right? There's a saying in the 3D world is that the hardest 3D software that you learn how to use is the second one you learn how to use. Because you're going to get so used to stuff in the first thing that you do, you go to try to adapt it and it's different and you're like, oh, this is weird. Like if I opened up Blender right now, I'm putting my hand through the monitor. Because like Blender is so backwards to me. Like it's like my DNA rejects it. I have such an issue with Blender. It's a great program. It's free. It's open source. It's, infinitely scalable. And it's so accessible for so many people. And there's so many merits to that. But, like, I did this stuff for real. Like, I did this as, like, a professional. And, like, using Maya in the industry is not really something that was a thing when I was in it. It's getting more and more of a thing now, which, by the way, if you don't know what Blender is, that's, Blender. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Maya in the industry. Maya is industry standard. That's why I teach it. All right? So, again, channel box layer editor, that's all the stuff that's, like, comparably to that, like, that specific object. If I click on this little tab under here, we've got attribute editors. That's just more attributes that I can get into. This is stuff like shading groups, the actual like where the texture for the object lives. It's like easily accessible. Whenever you do this for the first time and you find like standard surface 1, and if I go and if I spawn more objects in, you're going to notice that all of that is also affected by the same thing. It's because all objects have a default material, and I'm affecting the default material. So if you want something different, you have to assign a new material per object. Does that make sense? We'll get into texturing and look development quite extensively. Don't worry about that. It's just stuff that I like to be iterative on. So that when you're like playing with this and you're like, hey, I made this red. Why is everything else red? It's because you're on the default material. Okay. And then under that, we've got the modeling toolkit. We're going to get into this extensively, but not right now because we're just doing primitive stuff. We're just doing, very, very easy things. All right. So when you're in Maya, and you're moving around and you're trying to get your feet wet and you're just trying to see what happens, right? I want you to sort of spawn in an object and just try to orbit around it, pan around it, whatever. And the way that we do that is we go up to this tab up here. It says Poly Modeling. And we can just click on any of these default things. Don't get past the platonic solid. All right? Anything past that, you're getting into weird stuff. This is it's like a D12 or something. I feel like we can change the attributes of that. Dodecahedron. All right. Does anybody feel like they can't just do this? Like they can't spawn in a basic primitive shape and then just move around it? Is there anybody having issues with that? All right. Good. So, let's say you lose yourself in 3D space and you like can't get back to how things were. Like you panned away a little bit too much and you're kind of like, oh, I can't rotate around my stuff anymore. Here's how you fix that. You can either click on the object that you want to focus on in the viewport or do it in the outliner. And then you hit F on your keyboard for focus. And that'll bring your camera right to that object. Very useful in like a big scene. It's got like thousands of objects in it, and you're trying to look for a very specific thing. You go in the outliner, you click on it, and then you hit F, and it'll take it right to you. But you need to make sure that your mouse is inside the viewport for that. Maya is very finicky about where your mouse is, and it's like, oh, you don't want to be in the viewport. Now I'm in the viewport. Okay, it works now. So everybody should be able to spawn in a couple objects and move around them.
How do you edit like one side of an object?
We will get into that. We will get into that. Don't worry. I don't want everybody to get too big for their britches just yet.
I don't think I'll get too big for any britches.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We should experiment on you, Frankenstein style.
All right. For your guys' first soiree into Maya, this is what I want you to do. I want you to make a scene, and I want you to make it look exactly like mine. Same angle. Make your shapes the same color. And then make a screenshot of it. You remember how to do that? Yeah, screenshot. You go to snipping tool, and you hit snip, and then you drag, and then you drop. And then it's snipped. We'll do the end of the day tomorrow. All right, that's on Classroom now. So you will be submitting a screenshot, and you want to make this look identical to mine. Just to recap, up here, we've got spheres, and we've got cubes, and we've got cylinders. That's all I want, okay? And then when I spawn them in, I move them, and I scale them, right? And also, you don't have to hit the hotkeys for that. If you look on the left side of the screen, to the left of the outliner, you have the move tool, you have the rotate tool, and you have the scale tool. So it's all up here. You can all click on this stuff. You don't have to use your keyboard. It's just faster to learn it that way. So all I did was I scaled in, or I spawned in my sphere, moved it over, spawned in my cube, left that where it was, just made sure it was above the floor plane, and I did the same thing for the cylinder, and I scaled the cylinder just a little bit. But I didn't scale it like this. I scaled it like this. I made it thinner. And the reason why I did it like this is because I wanted it to be uniform, okay? If I just hit blue and then if I hit red, it's not going to be perfect, all right? So if I hit this little square that's in between these, it'll do it uniformly. Something to think about.
Think, boy, think.
Very useful. Right, and to change the color, all I did was click on one of these, and then I went to my attribute editor, and I went all the way to the right to find my standard surface, and I just clicked on my color dude, and I just made it green. Super easy.
How do I take a screenshot again?
You hit Window key S to bring up your search bar, and then you hit snipping tool, so type in snip,
Okay.
and then that should give you this little menu. You hit new, and then you should be fine.
Okay.
You can apparently also hit Window key Shift and S, and then you don't even have to click on that. Very useful.
Very useful.
Mr. B,
What?
real quick.
Mhm.
Can you show again how you made your shape screen?
My shape screen. Okay, so here's what I did. I clicked on one of the shapes, and then I want to make sure that I'm on Attribute Editor. You see this guy over here, all the way to the right? Attribute Editor. So I click on that, and then yours might look like this by default. All I want to do is I want to click on this little arrow until I find this little tab right here. It says Standard Surface 1. That's our material. And then I click on that. And then yours is probably going to be gray by default. All I want to do is in this little thing that says base, I want to click on the color. I'm going to make it green.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Thank you.
There's so many little things.
You'll remember all of it. It's practice. It's repetition. It's like you model your first object. You're wrestling with the viewport and the program more than you are the actual model. You have to like keep going and keep going and keep going until it just becomes like, oh, that's just how it works. And then you'll be wrestling with the actual model, which that's where it's like, that's like soul crushing. That's like difficult. That's like actually difficult. Not, oh, I'm brand new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, oh, I have to make artistic decisions and like have taste with shapes. I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about.
So, Mr. B,
Mm-hmm.
you said at some point we're gonna be making a game, like learning a little bit about game design.
Yes.
Or we're gonna be like actually making a game.
So, with the game design portion, what I'm probably going to do is you'll make assets, and I'll have some like basic programming done on it, and basic coding, but like that's a lot of work, and like I don't think a lot of people are going to grasp it, because like we did a lot of drawing and people didn't even do that, and that's like easy. That's like really easy. Like it doesn't get easier than just picking up a pencil and drawing. So asking the same people to be like, hey, let's do coding on probably one of the most complicated forms of coding that there is, which is video games. Not gonna happen. But if I say, hey, let's model a bunch of art assets that we could drop into a level that you could run around in and fight guys in and do whatever, then that's a little bit more digestible. Because that's kind of the point of CG art, is because I want to get everybody exposed to the pipeline as much as possible, and to do that it needs to go into something. Well, it's got to have something for it to go into. So yeah, we'll do a little bit, but not like a crazy amount. If if you're a person that's like, I want to learn how to code, I want to do all that, I will get you set up with that, because there's a lot of really good resources for that, especially for Unity, because we're just going to use Unity now. Unreal cannot run on these machines, and Unity has they're called learning pathways, and it's like completely for free, and it's like really good, like world class level digital curriculums that teach you how to code an entire video game. And like I did a little bit of it and it was awesome, but like, that's not what I'm doing right now. So, if you want to get set up with that, you totally can.
Because like I have 2 game ideas that like I've had in the back of my mind forever, and
Yeah.
I want to do them
Yeah.
at some point in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've like taken the initiative. Like I've tried looking around like on websites and stuff like a good thing. I've tried both Unity and Unreal. Unreal cannot run on my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unity, I couldn't get for some reason, because like that's the one you need like the epic.
No, Unreal is epic. So, all right, I'll tell you why we're shifting to Unity. Okay, when I was doing development, when I owned my studio and I was doing game development, we worked in Unity. We were doing VR stuff.
Yeah.
The thing about Unreal is that it looks great. It looks incredible. All the tech demos that come out for it are awesome. But if you're a solo developer, or even if you're a small 5 to 10 studio, you don't have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Unreal is a horrible way to go about it, because there's so much optimization that has to happen that doesn't happen. So I can't tell you how many games get made in Unreal Engine 5 that are so poorly optimized you get like 10 frames a second out of it. That's awful. But it looks really good. It looks really cool. It does look really cool, and there's a lot of really cool tech in it. But if you don't have all that money to pay people to optimize it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. So with Unity is that it's a lot more lightweight, and it just kind of works a little bit better. But the graphic integrity is not incredibly good. Like, you can get a lot of really good stuff out of Unity, you just have to do a little bit more work visually, whereas Unreal, it just does it automatically. But it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Unreal looks better, but you got to spend 10 times more time optimizing it
Yeah.
than Unity is. You have to just make it look good, and then once you make it look good, it's probably already optimized.
Yeah.
So it's, and it's also the argument of like art direction versus graphics.
Yeah.
Think about the most realistic game that came out 5 years ago. Who cares?
Yeah.
But think of like a really striking visual game. Silksong, Cuphead.
Yeah.
It's literally 2D animation.
Yeah.
Art direction strong. I remember the entire game because of the visuals.
Amazing, like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
Like,
strong art direction.
yeah.
So that's kind of also the other reason why I'm getting back into Unity and trying to teach that, because it's making it's less of a tech demo and more of like a tool for an artist to be expressive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll get you set up with that.
Yeah. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, I haven't done any game design before. I have 2 really cool ideas for games that I want to make sometime in the future.
Mhm.
I don't know how to, but like I might enjoy it a lot.
I'll
Like,
teach you.
I don't know if that's what I want to go into in the future or whatever. Maybe. But
Listen,
like,
dude, this is my advice to everybody right now, is that if you've got something that you can do and it's like completely like it's let me rephrase that. If there's something you want to do and it's just you, like, I want to make something. I want to create something. I want to be my own boss. Best time to do that is now, because everything is so bad right now the idea of like getting hired to do something cool is like it's not an option anymore. Like I'm not meaning to have this spiel so early, but like the idea of being a creative professional and getting hired to do that by a company that will pay you a living wage, that is gone. It's not a thing anymore. So if you want to do like illustration or if you want to do like game design or something, the best way to do it is to just do it by yourself, have a product to sell, and be your own business person and make your living that way. Because if you get a game and you do it and you make it and you finish it, which is miraculous, by the way, like there are millions of unfinished games that are probably not ever going to get finished. Of all the ones that do get finished and you find success with it, that's millions of dollars you've made, potentially.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It's a risk, but you're a kid.
Yeah.
That's the time to be taking risks.
Yeah, I just don't know where to start. Like for like the game design, like I tried using Unity. I didn't understand it at all. I looked for like some smaller, like easier to digest
Mm-hmm.
things. Cause like when I was younger, I made some like Scratch games
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, you know, and I enjoyed making those.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty good for being on a Scratch game.
Yeah.
Um, and like I was like, I kind of want something where you can just like drag and drop like blocks or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, type of thing, kind
Hey,
of like how Scratch is. But
Yeah,
like,
you